Skip, remind you now, he only weighed 144, so he was basically 10 pounds, basically under the weight. But he wiped it out.
A much smaller guy, just because he's at the end of the road. But the fight's so big and the money's so big, he's going to have to take it. I bet he retires after that fight.
Have to start playing catch up in rounds 4, 5, 6. Believe me, by the 7th round, Canelo is going to be a little muscle fatigued, right? We've seen that.
Shannon Sharpe didn't hold back when discussing the possibility of a Canelo Alvarez vs. Terence Crawford fight. The NFL Hall of Famer turned sports analyst issued a strong warning to Canelo, suggesting that stepping into the ring with Crawford could end disastrously. Sharpe emphasized Crawford's superior speed, skill, and stamina, implying that this fight might not just result in a loss, it could signal the end of Canelo's long-standing dominance in boxing. Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez himself has revealed that he's beginning to think seriously about retirement. Reflecting on his 20-year career as a professional boxer, Canelo admitted that the urge to explore life beyond the ring is growing stronger. He shared that after 2 decades in the sport, he sometimes simply wants to do something different with his time.
Has retirement ever crossed your mind? Have you ever thought about that?
I always say like 37 is good time to go. It's not because I can't be in the boxing anymore, but sometimes you need to do something else. So I'm being in October I turned 20 years as a professional fighter. So it's meant a lot of years. So.
Eddie Hearn, the longtime promoter and trusted figure in Canelo Alvarez's camp, has stirred speculation by suggesting that Canelo's upcoming clash with Terence Crawford could be the final fight of his storied career. According to Hearn, the Mexican icon may be nearing the end of his legendary run, and facing Crawford, arguably one of the most technically gifted boxers of this generation, could serve as the ultimate test and possible farewell. Hearn's comments carry weight. He has been by Canelo's side through countless chapters of his career and fully understands the toll that 2 decades in the ring have taken, both physically and mentally. For Canelo, this bout might not just be another title defense, it could be a moment of closure, the final chapter written against an elite opponent.
Do you see that fight now differently based on how Canelo performed against Skull Eddie?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah? Oh, wow.
It wasn't just the fact that he couldn't cut the ring off. I just feel like the timing now, the age, Canelo is amazing. I mean, not just because of his ability and what he's accomplished, but the fact that he still has the desire for those training camps and those fights. But I just feel like that desire might be fading a little bit. Not because of his love for, but just because of age and life. Do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, the Crawford fight will definitely get him up for it. But I was actually watching that fight thinking I wouldn't be surprised if he retired and actually didn't fight Crawford, because I don't think he'll want to lose to Crawford, a much smaller guy, just because he's at the end of the road. But the fight's so big and the money's so big, he's going to have to take it. I bet he retires after that fight.
Canelo Alvarez's recent performances, first against John Ryder and more noticeably against William Skull, have sparked concern from promoter Eddie Hearn. He's seen troubling signs, aging reflexes, slower combinations, diminished head movement, and a noticeable drop in punching power. The explosive force that once defined Canelo's prime now appears to be fading. Bernie, a close member of Terence Crawford's inner circle, didn't hold back his confidence. He didn't just call Crawford great, he called him a legend. And with Crawford's growing dominance, that sentiment is gaining traction. Perhaps most surprising is the shifting sentiment among Mexican boxing fans. While Canelo is still revered as a national treasure, some of his most loyal supporters are starting to lean toward Crawford. This isn't just about switching allegiances, it's about recognizing skill, drive, and momentum. Bernie emphasized that Crawford's recent performances have earned global respect, even among those in Canelo's own camp who now acknowledge how dangerous Bud truly is. Former middleweight champion Kelly Pavlik offered a blunt and honest assessment of a potential clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Defying the popular narrative, Pavlik argued that Crawford, not Canelo, is the bigger force in terms of strength and overall effectiveness inside the ring. He praised Crawford's raw talent, tactical mastery, and physical intensity. But perhaps more revealing was Pavlik's critique of Canelo. He believes that in recent outings, Canelo has adopted a more conservative approach, fighting not to dominate or finish opponents, but simply to avoid losing. And against someone as relentless and sharp as Crawford, that cautious style may not hold up. Pavlik painted a stark contrast, one fighter surging toward greatness with hunger and momentum, the other simply trying to maintain his place at the top.
Classy, he's a great fighter. I mean, that's it. Crawford is so talented. He's got so much ability in boxing, his boxing ability. And he's a bigger guy too. He's almost every bit as big as Canelo, right? So that's what makes it tough. Like, yeah, Canelo's used to fighting guys coming down from 200 probably, you know, at light heavyweight. And Crawford ain't. But it's just too hard to pick on it because of Crawford's ability and boxing skills. I'm not going off of Canelo's last fight. You know, the guy he was fighting was in survival mode pretty much. He was just fighting not to get knocked out. When you fight a guy like that, you're not going to look good, right? I don't care what anybody says. When you fight a guy that's running around trying to survive, it makes it hard. So I don't go off of that, but this fight is going to be interesting. I mean, I would almost have to kind of lean with Canelo, but I'm not making that pick. Just saying, guys, so nobody come at me. I'm going to sit back and enjoy this one. Not worrying about anybody, you know, saying, hi, you're wrong, or talking. But it'll be a good one.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia added weight to the growing conversation, agreeing with the observation that Canelo Alvarez has moved away from the aggressive, knockout-driven style that once defined him. Garcia didn't sugarcoat it. Canelo is tired. Having turned pro as a teenager, Canelo has shouldered the relentless grind of boxing for nearly 2 decades. According to Garcia, the sharp precision and calculated risks of Canelo's earlier years have gradually shifted toward a more measured, energy-conserving style, less about dominance, more about endurance. Garcia's words weren't meant as criticism, but as a sober acknowledgement of the toll the sport has taken. Canelo has been through wars, carried the weight of boxing on his back, and now, the wear is beginning to show in his performances.
Why is it that Shiraz was able to knock out Berlanga, but not Canelo?
It's because Canelo doesn't go out for the knockout anymore. Canelo's just now. You know, we've seen in the last few fights, he just does enough to win. He did the same against Munguia. He dropped Munguia, but then they didn't want to finish him. Charlo, Berlanga. He wants to cruise through the fight. You know, he's up there, you know, in not in age because he's only like 33 or 34, but he's
fighting since 15.
15. A lot of training camps, a lot of sparring matches. So all that takes a lot out of your body. So he takes care of his body too. So he doesn't go all out because he doesn't want to just finish his body. He knows he still has a few more years and a few big fights where he wants to take care of himself and not punish himself too much. That's why he hasn't been able to knock those guys out. Not because he can't. I think he just does enough to win. I think Shiraz also has great power, man. I think Shiraz has the power that nobody believed he had.